Okay. My name is Manfred Lang. I'm from Cubro Networks. Cubro is an Austrian company based in Vienna. And Cubro is on the market now since 16 years around. I will give you a short overview about the Cubro product range today. And we have a really new product, the EXA8. And this product we built to have a cooperation with some other software and tool vendors. Then later on, I will show you a little bit more about the EXA8. And then Frederick will do the second part. Frederick is the general manager from H5 from France, but he will introduce himself, I think. And so let's start. So Cubro product range, we have network probes for mobile operators. We build network packet brokers, network tabs, and we have centralized management software. Cubro has a global reach. We have customers all over the world. Here are some of them. Cubro starts 16 years ago with a special project for Austria Telekom. In this time, Austria Telekom was looking for a special copper tab. Nobody had this tab in their portfolio. And from this project, Cubro starts. We built this special tab for Austria Telekom, and this was the start of Cubro. So the product range, the network tabs, we have copper tabs, we have fiber tabs, converter tabs, aggregation tabs. As you can see, we have also really big chassis-based copper tabs. This, for example, is one. This product line comes from requirement from a big telecom vendor in China, China Telecom. They have the need for tapping a lot of copper tabs. So we build up this product. So also network packet broker. These are the normal packet brokers, layer 2 to 4. They can do VLAN tapping, MPLS filtering, tagging, stripping, all these things what normal packet brokers can do. And but here's interesting, they can also be the endpoint tunnel for GRE. And as you can see, we have a really small unit. I think this is the cheapest GRE tunnel endpoint in the market in the moment. Then we have the extended versions, the AXR. This means we can do filtering here up to layer 7. We can do SSL application. We can extract metadata for mobile operators, and we can also do ZIP and RTP protocol correlation. So now we come to the special unit AXR8. This is built up. This is, let's say, the tab and a broker in one unit with you can put also some software on it. We build it up to cooperation, as I said before, with other vendors. Here's a little bit about the hardware design. Multi-core CPU, no Intel. 8 times 1 gig, 2 times 10 gig SFP ports, up to 32 times gigabit RAM. And it's a Linux open network tool platform. So you can do also the upgrades really easy via SD card. And this is a little bit also for the open source community. You can use it as an aggregator. Many 1 gigabit links to 10 gigabit. You can also filter this network traffic. You can also do capturing on SSD, or you will see later on also others. You can use T-Shark. Yeah, this is I think it's a tool you can do a lot of things with it, and you can also do the capturing on USB 3.0. Yeah, this is second-party software. You can use it with second-party software, and with second-party applications, we can bring performance up to 8 gigabit traffic. So thank you. Now it's your part. As you can see, Cubro is in EMEA, North America, APAC, and in Japan. We are offices there. Thank you.
Un, deux, trois. 1, 1, 2. That's French. So my name is Frédéric Guillois. I'm president and CEO of a French company named called H5 Audits. And we are working together with Cubro because we have Cubro is making packet brokers. Packet broker is to collect data on the network, and we analyze the packets. Okay, so we are a French company, software company since 2009. So we have different probes. We have 1 gig probes, but also we have 10 gig probes from 2011 there. And so after that, we made pickup, cycling, capture, rolling buffer to be able to collect all the packet on the network behind a span port or behind an equipment provided by Cubro. And so last year we did 40 gig units box, okay, to be able to look at the 40 gig of traffic, the big link, okay. We have different customers. Most of them are based in Europe. We have Thales and Space, Airbus Defence and Space, the NATO, the Space Agency, and different customers like generally Decathlon, the French company for sport, a lot of shops, Sanofi and so on. Most of them are in French-speaking area at the moment where we're starting to develop the business out of France. So we did business in UK, we did business in Spain, in Italy, and we're starting with Alstor, making business in Poland. So our vision and mission is to be able to provide, to give to the people a network performance intelligence solution to give what is really running on the network. So as mentioned, we have different companies we're working with. Some of them, this is our biggest customer, so Atos, the people from Atos maybe here, but in the show. So we look at all the traffic in the data center. So we put a prod at the entrance of the data center and we look at the traffic. So we have company like Telco, we are working with Orange and so in France, and the other BT and MTM, which is a South African, if people know about Ruby, they are the sponsor of the South African Ruby team. If you look, there are MTM on the shirt. And the other company, NATO, is based in Europe, but we have also the Space Agency because we have a solution to look at multicast traffic in the environment. So what we are doing in the organization, the IT manager need to have information about what the traffic running on the network because he need to see and track critical business application and make the right decision in terms of bandwidth. Does he need to upgrade the links or not? So what we will do, we will give you information about the SLR, the reporting of the application running on the network, and we will do that in a very synthetic view because he's not an expert of the network, so he doesn't know about metrics, protocol, and so on, so we need to do it very easily. First, IT manager. Second one, network engineers, okay? Because in old company, when there is a problem with an application, this a network issue. Are you all right with that? All the time, when there is an issue with an application, the first is we need to call the guy in charge of the network because it is a network issue. So that guy is a poor guy because if he doesn't have any tool, he cannot manage the problems. So what we do, we give him information to be able to make an identification on the cause. It is a network application or it is a network problem or it is an application problem. Because if it's a network problem, he will be able to fix it. But if it is an application problem, he will be able to manage that differently. So we have very easy GUI for drag and drop to be able to look at the traffic. And the third point of the people is the business, because when there is an issue with the application running on the network, these people who is using the network need to work, but maybe without the network for a short period of time. So what they need to get informed. So they need to have proactive information if there is something wrong. So we give them information. We can send a message or SMS or an email and so on. Yeah, to be able to have a look on the network. So our solution is a unique business flow reporting solution to be able to manage information from the IT manager, from the network engineers, and also for the people in charge of operation of the business. Okay? So how it works? We are making probes. See if nobody knows about probes. This is physical boxes or virtual appliances. That depends what you want to do. So we produce metrics, volume, performance, and packet capture. And on top of that, we look at the application and the monitoring objects. That means we can make reports per remote site, per application, per server, and so on. And we give this information available for the different people in the company. So if we are discussing with the guy in charge of the network, this has to be technical, very like RTT time, one time, packet loss, retransmission, all this information which is are important for the customer. But you need to make report to the boss, so we need to do synthetic report. So we have one Java GUI to access the data real time, and we have one web reporter to be able to give report to different people in the company, for the IT manager, but for the other people in the company. Okay? So we are providing network, what is running on the network, but also performance about the one time, the LAN time, the retransmission, and information about the OTP and SIP, because all the company are using them now, and they have to have indicator about the performance of the application, the voice application on the network. So we can have a look on the different application, even this hosted in the cloud. You mean if you are moving application in the cloud, you need to have a look on that, and to be able to have, even when you are using SharePoint, Office 365, and all this application, you need to be able to have a look on that and to have metrics available, because when there's something slow, you need to make a decision if it's a network or not, or call the telco and so on. Okay? So we are making probes. So with the probes, we can do also packet capture. So we have big buffer of packet capture. We collect all the packets, and that means we can go back in the past, and even in a past event, dig in the event and get the pickup file, filter on the IP with the conversation between the IP and the server, the client and the server. Okay, so it's quite understand. So we can put this on the link. So we make a copy of the traffic running between the customer and the server, the client and the server. There's nothing to install on the server. There's nothing to install on the client. You just have to do a span port, or using Cubro equipment like taps or network packet brokers to collect the traffic and send the traffic to that box. And that box does everything: collection, calculation of the metrics, put this metric in the database, and after that you can collect the. You can also get this metric from the different way to access the data: Java, if you want Java, Java GUI, the web application, or we have also an open API to be able to send this information to other tools. I don't know if everybody knows about Zabbix. So we have this. We have a partnership with Zabbix, and we have plug and play connectors with Zabbix. So if the people are using Zabbix, we can push all our metrics to Zabbix to be able to do it. So we have different models of probes. We have 1 gig models, 1 gig models from 15,000 packets per second to 150,000 per second, and there are difference between the quantity of hard disk dedicated to the pickup file, so 1 gig, and we have also 10 gig and 40 gig model. We have a 10 gig unit 4U server with 48 terabytes of pickup file, and you get all this traffic measurement on 1,800,000 packets per second. I mean, we have a 10 gig links, and we look at all the packets, and you get all the metrics available for 1 minute granularity during 30 days. That's what Atos is using in the data center. This is what they are using, and we just released the 40 gig unit. The first one, 20 use, is able to look at 20 gig, this 3,600,000 packets per second, this half a 40 gig link, and the 40, there is a much more powerful box, can proceed 7 million packets per second. Okay? So this software we are porting this software in DPDK to be able to make it running not only on our probe, but also on Cubro equipment. So if you buy this equipment from Cubro, you can put our software in that as a license and make statistic about all the traffic going through that box. So you can feed the box with span port, or you can feed the box tapping links on that, as you can see there. And you will connect to that box, and that box will give you all this information. It's about 70 metrics about TCP and UDP traffic. Okay? Does it make sense for you? That's how we do. Okay? It's time. Yeah, so I can make a demo. You want a demo? Have a look on the tools. Okay. Yeah. So maybe because I cannot do this. Okay. Okay. So I'm connected to a real box, which is in a big data center in Paris. So I'm connected to internet through the VPN. Okay. So I'll have a look on that how it works. So we are going on the network. You see. So you see there is TCP, UDP, or TP traffic. So we get a lot of different traffic on that. So we get bandwidth in, bandwidth out, volume in. If you want to see, you see all the protocol. So you can dig into the protocol and see what's going on that. So I click on that, I will get this IP address. So I see this IP is going connected on that IP and everything. So I'll have all these metrics available. So I have about 70 metrics that I can have. They have information about volumetry, bandwidth in, volume in, packet loss, and so on. Information about performance. In this, I have information about connections and session and so on. So what I can do, I can say I want to make a report. So I just have to select the information I want to graph. So I want to take the bandwidth in on the link. I take the bandwidth in and drag and drop bandwidth in. I take the bandwidth out. I put the bandwidth out. Okay. So this is the bandwidth I have on the link for the last hours. I say, okay, I want to have this information on the last week. So I just have to change the time period. I click on shortcut last week and click on OK. This will update all this application. So we see we have 4.5 terabytes of data, and I have all this application, the bandwidth using for the last 7 days. Okay? So if I go to people on the phone and they say I want to go and to see what is going on the network on the specific day of 6th of March, I just have to zoom on that. You see, I click this, I do zoom, okay, and this will automatically make a specific request on the database and say, okay, I have a look on that, and I say on that specific traffic, what was running on my network, so everything has been populated and everything will come on that. So if I took the time before to make a reference in this equipment to say this IP, this random IP, this size, this size, this site, I will be able to get this different, sort of remote site, monitored object, and I get all my site. You see, I have different sites. I don't know if a lot of people know about France, but this is Nantes, this is Lyon, this is Reims, this is city we have. So if you have a guy coming from Nantes and he say, I have a trouble on my Nantes agency, so it's very easy to do. You just have to take this and take this one, this, and take Nantes and say, okay, I split, this is Nantes, close that, and I make a focus on what is running on the network with Nantes. So I can say the same time, I say bandwidth in for Nantes, bandwidth out for Nantes, okay? And I say, okay, I have I had the problem on that specific period because people on the phone, I can dig on that specific period and say, what is the IP members? And I'm not on the right network, but if I was on the right network, I got the DNS name on that. I see that people, and I can see, oh yeah, that people make a conversation with this big volume of traffic. You see? And it's not a big volume, but it's 124 megabytes. This is ASAP traffic. And so I just can focus on that very quickly. Okay? So this equipment is used by the network engineers to fill and to go into the data to see what is running on the network. We can do it from 10 meg to 40 gig with the same ergonomy. This is very quick. Okay? So this is what they use. And when you need to make a report for a specific, if you don't use Java because you don't want to use Java for security reason or for philosophy reason, okay, you can use specific report on that. And this is, we have specific full web report that you can build and make available for you customer inside. Okay? The third point, I don't know, is there anybody knows about Zabbix? You know about Zabbix? Okay? So if you want to put this information, because we have an open API, if you want to put this information into Zabbix, we can connect to Zabbix. And I will show you, I have a version of Zabbix here. You see, yes? Okay. And I get Zabbix here. And if I hit a branch office, I have all this information. This information comes from my probes, and they are pushing to Zabbix. So we had the guys from Zabbix on the phone, and they say, okay, we want to work with you because we know how to make information from SNMP, but we have NetFlow, SFlow collectors, and we have also NetFlow, SFlow probes. We have probes also on that from 10 meg to 40 gig, and they are interesting to offer their metrics into Zabbix, to look at the RTT, to make TCP loss, to have different information which are not available with a tool from SNMP. I'm finished.